Hello, folks. My name is Paul Gerard. I'm with Atlas Ocean Voyages. We are a brand new startup luxe-adventure cruise line. You see my picture there in the upper left-hand corner. I've got about 30 years of luxury cruise sales experience. And today I want to tell you a good amount about our wonderful product. And the way I'll start to do that is by showing you a brief video. And so with no further ado, let me see if I can get this to work. And yes, we have video. Okay, hopefully that gave you a little bit of a feel for our product, and I'll continue to do so in the next few slides here, in the next few moments that we have together. So we are based in, headquartered in Fort Lauderdale here in the US. We are a new, as I indicated, new brand. We call ourselves luxe-adventure. I'll give you more explanation on that here shortly. We are a small ship, expedition capable. Again, more of that to come. And our first vessel is called World Navigator. World is the first name of all 5 of the ones that we'll have, and the second name will vary by ship. We'll talk about that as well. So our owner is this gentleman you see on the screen right now, Mario Ferreira. He's a gentleman from Portugal, started as a waiter on a cruise ship, now a billionaire with lots of holdings in cruise, both ocean and river, and some interactive parks, museums, hotels, that kind of thing, very diversified. 3rd largest river cruise operator in the world, including his own river cruise line in Portugal, the Douro Azul. He owns a lot of the docks and facilities along the Douro River, so other river cruise lines who sail there do so often with his being involved and allowing them to dock and the like. He owns Mystic Cruises, Nico Cruises is a cruise line that caters to the German market, ocean and river. And Atlas, you see that down in the bottom left, is his newest foray into ocean cruises. And we're geared to the North American market thus far with this particular brand, although we will be selling internationally here quite soon, doing so already. So where that luxe-adventure moniker that we've grabbed is trying to pinpoint where we're unique. So we are a luxury product, but we are also, in addition to being expedition capable, our size allows us to go to a lot of places that large ships can't, and our expedition capability allows us to go virtually anywhere. And you'll learn something about our propulsion system that makes us wonderful in areas that are sensitive to disturbing, and we'll make sure that we don't do that. Anyway, that's kind of where we're coming from. We're going to be this great way to see the world in comfort, but luxe, not luxury. Luxe is our attempt to casualize luxury. I'm making up words here as I go, sort of. But so we're not going to be, there's no formality, no tux and gown night, no big chandeliers or grand staircases, just subtle elegance in all of our public rooms, true gourmet dining, 5-star service, et cetera, without the pomp and circumstance that sometimes comes with formality and cruising. So more on that in a bit. So the pillars of this luxe-adventure product that we're debuting is that we are all-inclusive all the way. We include air and at least one shore excursion in every port. We're a very inclusive community environment, luxury accommodations. We have a standard page on the dining room menu that's the cruise fare, the food fare you'd expect in a fine dining establishment. On the left side of the menu are items from the areas that we're cruising in. So you'll get to go back and forth any night. And in fact, you could pick one from each side. But the premise is not only great dining, but the local flavor gets to be involved in your immersion in that culture as well. So that's a little bit more about it. Now, what's all inclusive? So this slide discusses that. And as I've already mentioned, we include air from, it's about 20 gateways. And if your gateway is not one, if you can put together a little group, we can create a special gateway for that group. But more and more over the next few years, we're expecting to add more and more air gateways. And if you're coming from a city that's currently not one, we'll have a minimal, very minimal charge to get you air from that other gateway. So don't worry, we won't not take care of you. We'll take good care of you. Each port will allow multiple kinds of shore events, one of which will be complimentary. But of course, when we're in expedition areas, you'll have the ice landings, and the Zodiacs will bring you around. There's the paddle boards and all these wonderful kinds of things. I'm kind of reading ahead here. I talked about the cuisine. We include all wine, beer, and liquors, unlimited premium pours. We've got some stations around the ship with filtered water, and we give you a nice reusable bottle so we can cut down on all that plastic that happens with plastic water bottles. Your gratuities are included. Butler service comes with our suites. We offer standard Wi-Fi service throughout the vessel. L'Occitane provides our bath amenities. And we include emergency evacuation and return insurance. So this is not medical insurance or trip interruption insurance. It's in case something happens, for example, in Antarctica, and you need to be evacuated to be tended to. That part is taken care of, the emergency evacuation situation. So that's the inclusion there. The look and feel of our product is the design of these two gentlemen, very famous over in Europe. Oito Impanto is the name of the company, and you see the various pictures on the right, which give you a feel for their outstanding capabilities, but they'll be responsible for the design of all 5 ships and their sister ships, so the look and feel will be very much the same. I mentioned earlier we are a small ship, which in itself, especially post-pandemic, I think you'll agree, is a very nice situation. No big crowds. We carry only 196 guests when full. So we have 98 cabins. The most we'll carry is that number. And in fact, in Antarctica and the Arctic, when we have to bring our expedition staff with us, they take up some of those rooms, and the guest load will actually shrink by about a dozen guests or so. But we have the latest in engine technology, which allows us to, in sensitive areas, have propellerless propulsion. That'll bring us at about 5 knots. But what that'll do is allow us to sail in some very sensitive areas and not disturb the environment there. So we're very geared up for that kind of thing. World Navigator made her debut in August of 2021, so about 6 months ago. And I just said a few things about this. We have the 196 guests. We have 1 crew for every 1.4 guests. So it's a very high crew to guest ratio. We've got the 98 balcony and suite accommodations, multiple dining options. We'll talk about that in a bit. 2 main lounges. You saw a bit of those in the video. And we'll talk about our entertainment. We have a heated pool and hot tubs. The fitness studio, I think you saw a little glimpse of that in the video. L'Occitane runs our sea spa. We'll get a little peek at that. And our Water's Edge observation deck. On the right side, you see the schematics of the 5 vessels that we'll have eventually. This is a side view of the deck plan. We have 6 guest decks. Deck 3 is primarily, especially in the expedition areas, used as our mudroom. So you would embark and debark from that deck with your gear for Antarctica or the Arctic, and store some of that stuff down there in lockers. Decks 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 have staterooms and or public rooms on those various decks. The stateroom decks are 3, 5, and 6. The public decks are pretty much 4 and 7 and 8. So we'll give you lots of great places to roam about. Here's a view of some of the staterooms. This is one of the suites where you see the separate bed and sitting area. These run from about 430 to 480 square feet, with the veranda included in that number. The rest of the staterooms, these are not suites, these are our normal veranda staterooms. You'll see on the left side what I would call a traditional ocean veranda, and on the right side, the new, what they call horizon veranda, which technically is that top pane of glass on the wall there in the back, comes down to form like a railing with that black line, where effectively, for the time you have that open, your whole room is your veranda. Now, you'll notice it gives you more space in the room because, of course, any room can only come out to the edge of the ship. And on the left, you see that physical veranda portion where you slide the glass door open and you're out on your veranda outside of the ship, versus the other one where that window comes down, you stay in your room and your veranda is that area there. But you get more sitting room inside. Your choice. We've got roughly 50% of each kind of these 2 options. So you should be able to take the one you want and have no issues. All of the rooms come with queen size beds that are convertible to singles. You've got the interactive flat screen TV, your Bluetooth connectivity, your stocked minibar, all of and a digital safe. The bathrooms are all marble with a wonderful shower. Double bowl vanities in the suites. That's the one difference there. We do have it. All the rooms are very well equipped. The hair dryers, the robes, the slippers, that kind of thing. We do offer 24-hour room service. And of course, the Wi-Fi does work in the room as well. And you've got your daily make up and turn down service. By the way, the room we're looking at here is our only non-veranda room. We sold those as doubles until we got to Antarctica this year, but effective post-Antarctica, which is March 22nd, last sailing, the first sailing that's not Antarctica. We've staffed our expedition staff in these rooms for Antarctica, but when we come out, this will be a room for a single person. It'll be a solo category. So single would not pay a single supplement. The price you'll see for this room is for one person. And so we think we'll be the first luxury cruise line with a dedicated solo category. And again, effective March 22nd of this year. This is our gym and spa area. It's very well equipped, especially for a small ship. So you've got your weights, your treadmills, your stationary bikes, your ellipticals, all these wonderful things to help you not only enjoy the food, but fit into those clothes towards the end of the sailing. We talked about L'Occitane running our spa, and these show the slides there, not only the treatment rooms, but a nice relaxation area and a sauna. The Dome is a spot where we do some of our entertainment. There's some food opportunities there, but it's a real lively bar area in the evening. And during the daytime, when, oh boy, couldn't have a worse timing on that phone call. Anyway, apologize for that. This area, wonderful when we're in beautiful spots for observing all the things around you. So it's got 270-degree viewing opportunities, wonderful room, lots of things happening there. Entertainment. So, small ship, we're not going to have the big bands and the large Broadway-style production shows, but what we do have are very talented folks. When I sailed in August, we had a lady that had been the lead in 3 Broadway plays, Cats, Joseph, and Les Mis was a lead in each of those, and sang songs from those plays, just outstanding. We've got wonderful lectures. One will be a broad variety of subjects. The other will be subjects pertinent to the areas that we're sailing in, and different kind of entertainment. Again, not the big Broadway-style production shows, but individuals with amazing talents on display. Like most cruise lines these days, different dining options are de rigueur and are with us as well. So we've got our main dining room called Porto, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, of course. 7 aft is sort of a steakhouse, small one, out by the pool. Wonderful steaks and lobster, those kinds of things. The Dome, that room we saw in a couple slides before, serves a light lunch, as does 7 aft out by the pool daily. Paula's Pantry, you saw that in the video briefly. It's what we call a grab and go. So in the morning, there's the breakfasty fare, coffees, pastries, donuts, that kind of thing. Around noontime, it'll switch over to sandwiches, flatbreads, still the coffees and drinks and the like. Kind of like a Starbucks in the morning and in the afternoon, and the kind of fare that they serve. So that's Paula's Pantry. And of course, there's also 24-hour room service. In our shore excursions, we're trying to have an array, a wide variety that can be anything from traditional half-day bus tours of an area, or mountain biking, kayaking, hot air ballooning, you name it. So each will be described for the amount of rigor involved, mild, moderate, or vigorous, so that you'll be able to choose accordingly. And again, we'll put at least one complimentary shore excursion in every port that we visit. But this is going to be part of our signature, part of that luxe adventure. This is the adventure part, but you make that adventure what you want it to be in terms of its risk and energy and that kind of thing. I mentioned that eventually will be 5 ships. And this slide, while a bit dated, is a good feel for it. So on the left side, that ship is now World Navigator in the water down in Antarctica. That's where she was in dry dock in the final throes of her being built. Bottom middle is the second ship, World Traveler. You can see she's far along. Bottom right is the keel of our third ship, World Seeker, and there'll be two that will come after that till we'll get to the 5 ships. Again, all that same size, almost identical sister ships. Where do we go? Well, we go every place there's an ocean, simply put. And the way we started off in 21/22 is we were doing some Egypt and Greek Isles cruises between Athens and Cairo. Got to do one of those myself. Outstanding cruise. We did a bit of the Western Med, headed across the Atlantic, one Caribbean cruise, and we went down to Antarctica. Again, this was World Navigator's first season. She did that between August and today, whereas she's down in Antarctica. In 22, we'll leave South America, Antarctica, cross over and do the Mediterranean. We'll head up with World Navigator to the British Isles. We'll do Greenland, Iceland, and the North Cape and Norway. This is where the way came in. We'll do some Baltic cruises. And then we'll be down in the Mediterranean with Traveler in July. And then both ships towards the fall will do transatlantic crossings. And we'll head to South and Central America. On our way, both ships to Antarctica for next season. So Antarctica, that's the 7th continent, usually the last one on the checkoff list for most people. So if you're needing continent number 7, we're going to be a prime candidate to help you achieve that. This year we had three cruises, varieties cruise, a 9-day, a solar eclipse 12-day, and then one called Crossing the Circle that was 12 nights. For next year, with 2 ships down there, we'll have more variation in length, anything from 9 to 20 days, and we'll be exploring more spots down there in Antarctica as well. So that brochure is out right now. Give it a look. We'll be back there again next season. This is what it looked like for the 3 itineraries that we had this year. Interestingly, as you can see, the longer ones actually sold out quicker than the shorter one. But again, we'll have more choice, more variety for that in 22/23. But we're having a very successful season down there. Now, anytime you see something called Captain's Choice, what that means is the captain is looking around for opportunities where he sees wildlife, better weather. In Antarctica, you can see quite distance, something 2 miles away could be sunny, and then 1 mile to your rear, it's a windy and the like, not as good weather. So the captain will take advantage of what he sees as the best spots to do in the order that Mother Nature allows, and that's part of what you do in these expedition type spots. Again, our hull is geared up for that kind of cruising. We're certified for ice exploration. We've got, I think it's 12 Zodiacs on board that will bring our guests to and from the ice. We staff a team of naturalists and photographers and a lot of folks that will enhance your experience down there. And we give you a parka that you'll get to keep, but we'll lend you some boots and binoculars and that kind of thing. So it really will enhance your experience. By the way, I'm going to give you a footnote about the rules down there with regard to making landings. So if a cruise ship carries 200 or fewer people, they're allowed to put on land or on ice, as you wish, 100 people at a time, twice a day, if your ship is that size. If your ship carries between more than 200, so 201 to 500 guests, you can debark 100 people once a day. And if you're more than 500 guests, you cannot send anyone ashore. You are doing a cruise by. So you'll want a small ship for many reasons, but especially in Antarctica for that one. This is a look of this year's expedition team. So these are the dozen or so folks, I guess it's a little bit more than a dozen, that enhance your time down there, whether they're Zodiac people or naturalists or kayak and paddle guides, whatever it is their expertise is, it will greatly enhance your experience in that area. Since I'm talking about expedition, this is part of the summer of 2022, where we'll be up in the Arctic Circle doing a 7-day Longyearbyen Svalbard cruise. Same, then going Longyearbyen round trip, again above the Arctic Circle. And then the last of the 3 cruises up that way will bring us from Longyearbyen in Svalbard, Norway, eventually to Edinburgh in Scotland. So you're getting Greenland, Iceland, and Scotland on that particular cruise, and a little bit of Norway as well. So that's a look at some of the other expeditions, the northern ones. And I'm just clicking through some of these itineraries because when we're not doing expedition cruises, we're doing outstanding itineraries, and these are some, as you can see here, a real intense Norway cruise, including the fjords and other aspects of real detailed British Isles cruise. By the way, look where we dock. I don't know if you can read it. In London, we dock at Tower Bridge. That's one of the advantages of our size. And we also can fit through the Kiel Canal, which these Baltic cruises start and end in some cases. It's a really great place to start, but only a small cruise ship can fit through that canal. This is a look at some of the Mediterranean itineraries. I know it may be a challenge to see all the ports, but what I'm trying to show is all the wonderful places we go to that, again, the large ships can't get to. The Corinth Canal, by the way, is that. And as you can see, it's a bit tight, but we fit through. And cutting through the Corinth Canal will save you a lot of time and get you to better islands and destinations quicker. And again, another advantage of that small ship. And another neat thing is we'll have 2 cruises next year. So one will approach Antarctica coming down the east coast of South America, and the other will come down the west coast of South America after having done a Central America cruise. And certainly, I don't think you see many of those. So that top middle cruise comes through the canal and visits those countries in Central America. Then there's a couple of cruises that will come down the west coast of South America to eventually get down to Ushuaia for Antarctica. My point in showing these itineraries is to show all the wonderful destinations that we go to. And when we're 5 ships, we'll probably have 1 or 2 that will approach Antarctica from Tasmania. That is to say, below Australia. You can access Antarctica from there. It's a little bit of a different experience. So even if someone's been to Antarctica before, they could go again and have that slightly different experience. And on the way there, we could do Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Malaysia, some of the Southeast Asia. So again, the itineraries that we're going to be able to offer are going to be outstanding. This is a slide that gives you a feel for the fact that we're taking that word luxe all the way through. So the document kit that you have will look like this one. You'll have metal luggage tags in there with your names engraved on them. So we feel right from the start that you need to be impressed with this product. And again, to kind of recap a lot of the things that I've said and why we're different. Again, we are inclusive all the way. To include the round-trip economy air. This year we had a private charter to Antarctica. It had some challenges, and we're revisiting. We think we can probably do a better job next year with schedule air. That's the current plan. But if we rethink that, it could change. We include the shore excursion in every port. We've got the emergency evacuation and return insurance in there. And I didn't mention it yet, but if you're a retired or active military person, we have a 20% discount for that, only for the military person. So if that person shares a room with a non-military person, they wouldn't get the discount. but we've got lots of savings programs for everyone, and we could probably find something for that second person anyway. So I mentioned a few promotions. Here's a really strong one. Between now and March 31st of this year, if you make a booking through any travel agent, like Morris Murdoch, our good friends there, and the show, you will get $1,000 per person, $2,000 per stateroom, provided there's 2 people in there. So there's a major discount right there available to everyone. Again, that's from now. It started in about a month ago, so it doesn't expire till March 31st of this year. Looks like I have that one in twice. Sorry about that. This is the one I wanted to get to. The second possible savings, if you deposit at the time the booking is made, if your agent deposits, you'll save an additional 15%. Often the booking is made, the information goes to the guest, they decide yes or no, then they deposit. So if you have an agreement with your agent that if they can get you on this sailing, you want to do it, you can save 15% in addition to that 1,000. If you're really courageous, and I encourage you this because it's fully refundable, you can pay in full at time of booking and save another 20% to go along with that $1,000. So heck, we might owe you money at the end of the day. A little bit of exaggeration,